I learned about the wedding by accident, through a cousin's Instagram story. A glittering ballroom, my brother beaming beside his bride, my mother's proud hand resting on his shoulder. No one had called me. No text, no invitation. When I finally asked my mother, her tone was light dismissive, as if she were sparing me from something unpleasant. Sweetheart, it's just a small gathering for the closest family. Closest family. The phrase sliced through me more cleanly than anger ever could. I didn't argue. I didn't demand an explanation. I simply booked a ticket to a quiet place, telling myself it was just a break. But deep down, I knew it was my silent exit from their world. My brother and I had once been inseparable, fighting over toys, sharing secrets, covering for each other when things went wrong. I supported him through everything. Paid his tuition when he fell behind, lent him money to start a business, even bailed him out after his first big failure. He was impulsive, yes, but he was my brother. I never held it against him. Everything changed after our father's death. The inheritance was divided unevenly. My brother received more because he was starting a family. My mother said I didn't need as much. I was independent, self-sufficient, the quiet one. Apparently, independence meant exclusion. Still, I smiled, I visited, I sent gifts, until one day I didn't. About a month before the wedding, I overheard my mother on the phone with my aunt. She was laughing, saying people like me didn't fit in with high society occasions. She mentioned the bride's family wanted to keep the event elegant and selective. That was the moment I understood. It wasn't forgetfulness. It was deliberate. I wasn't overlooked. I was erased. I remembered every late night I'd spent helping my brother balance his accounts. Every sacrifice they'd overlooked. They called me emotionless, practical, detached. But they'd mistaken my silence for weakness. So I stayed quiet and I started planning. The wedding was supposed to be extravagant, the social event of the year. My brother's finances, however, were a mess. Something only I truly knew. He still owed me for the business loan I'd given him years ago. I had every document to prove it, signed, dated, binding, and I had connections. A few discreet calls to the caterer, the decorator, and the hotel. Each owed me small favors. I didn't raise my voice or issue threats. I simply forwarded the paperwork confirming his outstanding debts and legal claim. Within 2 days, his accounts were frozen. The wedding fund vanished almost overnight. I didn't have to lift another finger. Chaos spread on its own. My cousin sent messages, confused photos of the halted setup, whispers about financial issues. The bride's family withdrew first. They didn't want scandal attached to their name. Then my mother called. At first, she tried to sound composed. There's been some confusion, she said. Then came excuses, then finally desperation. Your brother is in trouble. We need your help. The word need from her mouth was a first in years. I listened, patient and silent, until she finished. Then I said in her own tone, I'm sorry, Mother. That kind of help is only for the closest people. The line went quiet, not the silence of anger, but the silence of realization. 2 days later, my brother showed up at my door. His tie was undone, his face pale, his pride cracked. You did this, he said, voice trembling. I didn't do anything. I replied evenly. You just forgot what you owed. He slammed his fist on the table, but I didn't flinch. It was my wedding, he said through clenched teeth, and I wasn't invited. I whispered. For a long moment, he just stared at me, like he was seeing the person behind all the years of quiet loyalty for the first time. The wedding never took place. The bride's family walked away. My mother stopped calling. My brother left the city, chasing whatever fragments of dignity he could salvage. I didn't gloat. I didn't post cryptic messages or seek validation. Revenge doesn't always demand applause. Sometimes it only requires silence and peace. Weeks later, I sat by the sea, watching the tide rise and fall, the world calm and honest for once. I didn't feel invisible anymore. People say revenge is about destruction, but for me, it was balance. It was reclaiming respect. I hadn't ruined my brother's life. I'd only made him confront the foundation he'd built from entitlement and deceit. Months later, my mother called again. Her voice was gentler, almost fragile. I wish you'd been there, she said softly. I replied, just not where you expected. Some invitations never come. Some families only recognize your worth after they lose the comfort of taking you for granted. I didn't go to my brother's wedding, but in my own quiet way, I was there.